Hello, Be the Hero Academy subscribers and newcomers. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Isabelle, and I help you understand who you are using personality typing and astrology. Welcome to another one of my very informal presentations because I as a person am not very formal. In this video, I'm gonna cover major transit that is about to happen on August 13th. And let me tell you, this presentation took me a long time to put together because there was quite a bit to learn about it, and it makes it all the more meaningful because of what's going to happen and what I've learned. So if you do not know about what's about to happen, there's something called a Venus star point that is about to happen on August 13th of 2023. And this is going to be huge for us, and we can use the energy for our benefit so that we can really reap the rewards for this event. I'm super excited to tell you guys all about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up on my screen the nice little cute presentation I made for you guys, and hopefully we can dive in deep to all that is going to happen during the Venus star point. Again, this is a huge, or subjectively, everything in astrology is subjective. So subjectively, this is a huge transit that is about to happen, and we're going to want to know everything about it so that we can embrace it well. We're going to feel the effects of it a few days before and a few days after, just given the fact that while Venus does and the sun do transit somewhat fast, it also isn't an immediate fast transition like a moon is. So we can feel the effects of this Venus star point even before the actual day and even after the actual day. But knowing about the Venus star point before August 13th, or at least the day of Venus star point, is super beneficial. So we have something called a Venus star point happening in the sign of Leo on August 13th of 2023. The last time we had a star point, this was in the sign of Libra, I believe in October of 2022. In this, I'm going to cover what the Venus star point is, because chances are you're like me and you're like, I have no clue what the Venus star point is. I did not know what it was very well up until a couple of weeks ago, and I did not know what it was really at all a year ago. So last time it came up, I was just confused and lost, and I didn't understand what they were saying because there's so much to the Venus star point and it takes a long time to cover it. So buckle up. I'm also going to cover in this what it means that the Venus star point is specifically happening in the sign of Leo, what the Leo archetype is, what Venus is in astrology, what the sun is in astrology. And with these three key points, it's really important that you know these, because then you can fully understand what exactly is going to happen on August 13th, what to expect in the more tangible sense on August 13th, and how it's going to affect you specifically. And this is where I'll give a short little horoscope for each of the zodiac signs. So stay tuned to the end of the video to get your horoscope. So first, before we dive into what the Venus star point is, which involves planets in astrology, let's dive into what planets are involved and how exactly they're going to affect in this transit. So the sun is involved in the Venus star point. It's one of the major aspects of the Venus star point. The sun in astrology is the giver of life. In astrology, it represents vitality, energy, and the core, so to say. Again, the sun is the core of our solar system, and while it might not be the center of our universe in astrological sense, it is the core giver of life. This is why in our birth chart, the sun is often associated with the ego as in the core self. People's sun signs, while they may oftentimes feel like it's inaccurate, we hear for the first time, oh, I'm an Aries, I'm a Virgo, and it feels like, not really. But this is because the sun shows our general tendency and what our general vitality is, so to say. And again, the sun is just like an energetic charge. So as far as current transits go, wherever the sun is shows us what will bring us most energy during this time, or what may bring us heightened energy, where we feel called to focus our energy. The sun is currently in Leo during the month of August, or at least for most of it, until around August 20th or 22nd, when it will shift into Virgo. And with the sun in Leo, we feel called to maybe have more fun, play, be authentic, express ourselves, be creative, and embrace the child within. Venus is a very misunderstood planet in astrology, or at least it's often stereotyped. Venus is stereotypically the planet of romance, love, and flirting. And of course it is, because this is the planet named after Aphrodite, who is all about love, romance. This is where we think of in mythology with love potions and making men swoon, who has strong feminine energy. But it's also where, and we also think of Venus as, in our astrology, just as, oh, what is our divine feminine energy, or what are men attracted to? And Venus is really so much more. And maybe not even so much more, but it's something completely different, which summarizes Venus so much better. At her core, Venus represents wealth and worth, because not only is Venus our love life, it is our love for life. It can show us what we value. An example, I have a Venus in Taurus, and yes, that means that in relationships, I want commitment and to have this Taurus energy, give comfort and receive comfort, but it also means that to see life as truly beautiful, I just need a lot of comfort and practicality in my life. So Venus really shows us what we need from life to make life feel beautiful. Venus rules over all that is beautiful. So Venus is not just a planet of love. It is the planet of beauty, of values, of wealth, and worth. So what is the Venus star point? As I just covered, and you can probably guess, the two planets involved that make this Venus star point are the Sun and Venus. As Venus transits around the Sun, it creates the shape of a flower, known as the flower, the rose, or the star of Venus, which is this shape here shown on the right, which is really just incredible. And I nerd over it or geek over it all on my own, because it is absolutely insane that Venus forms this most beautiful shape. And one quick note is that this is from, to my understanding, from Earth's perspective. So Earth is at the center of this. Again, Venus star point in general astrology. Astrology is around the idea that we are the center of the universe. The Earth is the center, hence why retrogrades are a thing. It's not like the planets actually ever move backwards. It's just that from our perspective, it appears to be moving backwards. So the same thing with Venus star point. From our perspective as the center of the world on Earth, Venus creates this perfect rose shape or flower shape with 5 petals. The Venus star point is when Venus's final stage of a cycle where the Sun and Venus meet at the same degree. So I will have graphics in a minute to explain what that sentence means in further detail. But first, this happens once every 10 to 12 months, and it takes 8 years for the rose of Venus to be complete. We are around the 3rd or 4th petal of the rose of Venus. And so this is not quite finished yet, but the Venus star point is when one of these petals is completed. As you can see, there's 5 petals and there's 5 little loops on the inside. So when Venus reaches the center of one of these petals at the lowest point closest to Earth, from our perspective, we finish one of the petals, and that is known as the Venus star point. There are 2 points within the Venus star point, though, because not only is the Venus star point when it's at its most interior position, but it's also when it's at its most exterior position. And these are known as the inferior/interior points along Venus's orbit, and there's also the superior exterior points. The inferior or interior points, shown in yellow on this graph, which are these 5 on the inside, is when Venus is directly between the Sun and Earth. And if I go to the past graphic just to show, you can see this nice little loop at the end. And that loop is possible because Venus goes retrograde. If you've been following my channel, you know that even though I was a whole month off in my interpretation at one point, Venus is in fact retrograde right now, and it has been since July 22nd. So the inferior or interior points of Venus's orbit, or Venus star points, is when Venus goes retrograde, which makes this little loop possible, making this flower. The superior or exterior points, which are shown in red on the outside here, is when the sun is directly between Venus and Earth. Venus stations direct. So to better explain this, when we are at an inferior or interior point, this is what it looks like from Earth. We're here, Venus is at its very closest point, and the sun is always right here. Same would apply for any of the loops. It would be directly in a line between Venus, Sun, and Earth, Venus being in between. In a way, you can think of the Venus star point a bit like an eclipse, how either the sun or the moon seems to be directly blocking one another from Earth's view. So the inferior or interior points is when Venus is directly between the sun and Earth, which is possible because of its retrograde motion. And the superior exterior is when the sun is directly between Venus and the Earth from appearance. Again, it's obvious that the sun isn't really as close to us. It's just from our perspective on Earth that it's apparently blocked. So superior exterior versus inferior interior. This is a interior Venus star point that we are having. Didn't know if it was moving. So this Venus star point interior, what does it represent exactly? Because now you understand the, I guess the, not science, but the logical part behind what exactly a Venus star point is, but what does that mean for us as people, or as people who are interested in astrology? When Venus comes between the sun and Earth, we feel called to reflect and reset our intentions around love, connection, and romance, as well as our values. Like a new moon, we are resetting intentions that will catalyze change in our hero's journey or life story. The Venus star point is a very key point for us in our hero's journey. It can represent a time where we reinitiate something new that will set us forward or set us on the right path, or even keep us on the right path. In a way, if you believe in destiny, this was meant to happen, but either way, this is a time for us to reset intentions. Specifically for the interior, because Venus has been retrograde. And with Venus retrograde, we've been reflecting on what we value, what we love, what brings us love for life, and what we need in our love life. So as Venus reaches this most interior point and blocking the energy, which is the giver of life, the sun, from reaching Earth, it's basically a point where we go, okay, we need to set some form of intention for my love life or my love for life, because I can't avoid it any longer. So this is a huge catalyst for us. And then if you add the zodiac into the mix, because after all, if you look at this graphic, it shows you what the Venus star point looks like, but where exactly is the zodiac involved? Simply just imagine the zodiac is laid over. So we have we have Venus right here in its most interior point, the sun in alignment, and there, if you lay the zodiac wheel over it, in the sign of Leo. So what does it mean that this Venus star point, which is an interior one, is in the sign of Leo on August 13th of 2023? Let's really look into what the Leo archetype is, because frankly, this day and age, a lot of us, or a lot of people who I've met, are always annoyed with Leos. And I'm sorry, Leos, that you guys get a bad rap. And it's just because Leo is simply all about pride and courage, and sometimes they can be a bit cocky. But let's really look into what the Leo archetype is, so we can really figure out what this Venus star point is. Because understanding not only the Venus star point as a transit is only as valuable as you understand the sign it's happening in, because that's the whole theme. It's setting the stage. Leo is the ruler of this transit, and so we need to understand Leo to understand how it's going to affect us. Leo is the 5th sign of the zodiac and the 2nd fire sign that we interact with in the zodiac wheel, which is very important to understand. Aries, the 1st sign of the zodiac, is a fire sign, and it represents the first spark of a fire. They're all about initiation. They are new to the world, and so they just want to experience everything. However, Leo, on the other hand, is more so about taking that fire further. They want to see how big they can get that fire to go. So Leo is all about thinking to themselves, how much passion are we capable of experiencing? And so in Leo, we learn to seek out ways that we can deepen our sense of passion. Hence why people who have a Leo sun or strong Leo energy are all about taking things to the limit. Let's have more fun, guys. Leo is represented by the lion, and this shows their confident, playful, and proud nature. Honestly, understanding the archetype of Leo it helps really to know what they're represented by, each of the zodiac signs, because this represents them well. Like I said, oftentimes Leo is thought of simply as prideful, overconfident, or even just, all play. But they are the lion. And so there's a lot of strength involved, a lot of wanting to protect people, which I will get to more in a minute. So Leo is full of joy, love, courage, as well as play, expression, childlike joy, and bravery. Specifically, the bravery to own yourself. The lion is said to be the king of the jungle. And it's that Leo is all about, or the lion is not only this playful archetype, someone who you see, baby lions play, and there's this playfulness, but they know that they're the leader. And so Leo is this very interesting balance of play and leadership. They have all this love. They want to protect those, and they use their strength and courage to do so. In a way, or very much true, Leo is the epitome of having an open heart, a full heart. They are fearless, they are brave, and in the negative, they can be egotistical and full of pride. And this is because Leo, at times, as knowing they're the lion, can think that they are above everyone else. But in the positive, Leos can be loving, authentic, and inspiring leaders. In its most positive expression, Leo for us is whether we have a lot of Leo in our chart. Leo is the reminder to us all to embrace authenticity, to have courage to be yourself, to own yourself, to own the fact that in your own life, you are the hero, you are the lion, you are the leader, you have strength. And at the same time, don't take yourself so seriously. Have fun, be loving, be playful, be courageous. There's this element of this perfect balance of play and strength and authenticity that is involved with Leo, and understanding that all of that is within the Leo archetype is very important for understanding this Venus star point, because it's not just about our flirtatious and expressive nature. It's not just about being courage and being a leader. It's not even just about being childlike. It's about unifying all these things to be an authentic person in alignment with our inner child and our authentic selves, and using our strengths and gifts to fearlessly lead the way by owning ourselves. So Venus star point, this one that is an inferior or interior one, is formed based off of Venus going retrograde. Venus has been retrograde in the sign of Leo since July 22nd of 2023. This is calling us to reflect on our relationship with enjoyment, fun, play, passion, and courage in both our love life and our love for life. And Venus does not go direct until September 3rd, which is again where we have, I'm gonna actually go back a few to line this out better. Let's go here. So to make this little loop here, it follows this path. It goes across, down, and makes this loop and goes around. When it gets to this bottom point, that's when it's at its latest retrograde, and it obviously can't start going moving until it goes direct again. So we will feel the peak of the energy on August 13th, but as it is changing degrees as well, and these are at the same degree, but we'll really feel the energy and the rewards of the Venus star point when Venus goes direct as well. So with Venus retrograde in Leo, we have been since July 22nd reflecting on our, first of all, inner child. What is our relationship with like with ourselves and with the inner child within us? Are we being too serious, potentially? For a lot of us who are not familiar with Leo energy or do not have Leo energy dominant in their chart, embracing it can feel very weird. Especially as I've mentioned, Leo is this balance of play and also confidence. And and to a lot of people, it's either one or the other. You can only be playful and ignorant or confident and serious. And Leo's kind of this middle point where we realize that we can be loving and open with our hearts and yet be strong at the same time. So since July 22nd, we've been called to reflect on that. We've been called to reflect on what makes us playful, how we can be playful, and most importantly, our authentic selves. Again, Leo has a lot to do with authenticity and owning our worth. So a lot of us since July 22nd have been called to, in some area of life or another, focus on, wait a minute, am I really being authentic right now? For a lot of us, this can affect our love life since it is Venus, but it could also just be affecting our love for life. We may have felt since Venus has gone retrograde that things just aren't as great as they used to be. And it's not that anything changed, it doesn't spark the same amount of passion it does. Hence why we are reflecting on our passion. We're reflecting on what is truly fun for us and what brings us enjoyment. This is a lighthearted fire sign. So it's not necessarily about diving deep, but it's simply about what makes us feel light, authentic, and really just full of love. We may have felt since Venus has gone retrograde that we've lost a bit of sense of love. This playfulness may have been mischanneled, and now we are called to reflect on it. Doesn't mean that our way of embracing play or authenticity is wrong. It just means that we need to reflect if that's the way we want to go. So what does it mean for the Venus star point to be happening in the sign of Leo? The Venus star point in Leo, which happens roughly around 20 degrees of Leo from my estimation. I did not find, since I'm filming this a bit earlier than the Venus star point, I was having trouble finding information on the exact degree the Venus star point in Leo is happening in. But again, from my estimation, it's around 20 degrees of Leo. So you're going to want to look at your chart later for that. So remember 20 degrees of Leo. The Venus star point in Leo is a moment for us to reset intentions after a period of reflection. Any conflicts or troubles that have emerged during Venus retrograde in Leo can be healed or resolved during this time. Again, this is Venus retrograde, and this aspect between Venus, the sun, and us here on Earth is calling us to finally make an initiation of change, but also it's a time of relief because this is a alignment and in many ways very positive. This is a conjunction, so to say. It's just that while they might not be next to each other within the planetary system from our view, they are at the same degree. So this is a conjunction between Venus and the sun, to simply put it. So as Venus forms a conjunction with the sun, we are called to initiate change, and we may feel a stronger love for life. We will feel an expanded sense of love and a deeper appreciation for beauty today. Romantic opportunities could surface, or you could realize that you are seeking what you are seeking in your love life. You can also find a deeper love for life today. Venus, again, is the planet of beauty, and we've been recently reflecting on what that means for us as far as the Leo archetype goes. What brings us enjoyment? What makes life fun? We could be realizing some of that today. And while we may feel more reserved with this aspect, we may not feel necessarily that I want to go out and have all the fun in the world. We see life with more beauty. We see what we want more clearly. Not fully clearly yet because Venus has not gone direct, but we are starting to realize what we value and what makes us feel passionate, what makes us feel authentic, and what brings us a stronger sense of love and courage. So today, as the Venus, or on August 13th, when we experience this Venus star point, we are going to feel a deeper sense of love, and we will be more connected to the energies of Venus, which for those who have a strong Venus in their chart, such as those with Venus in Taurus or Venus in Libra or Venus in Leo, you will feel this strongly. For everyone else too, though, you will feel this just not maybe as easy to access. It may feel different for you. The Venus star point Leo is a beneficial transit where we can realize what it is we value, what it is we want, and see life with more beauty. So embrace these Embrace these rose-tinted glasses you've been granted today, and also set new intentions. It would be great for you to journal what it is you value in love and in life during this time so that you can move forward in alignment. We are reflecting on our relationship with ego, pride, need for attention, authenticity, play, and courage. And this is where we have an interesting dynamic at play. Again, there's negative and positive traits of Leo, and everyone embraces Leo differently. Do we have too little or too much pride in play? And this is where we get into the first aspect of, or both aspects really, of Leo, is that some people take the Leo archetype too far and become cocky and bold and wanting to be the center of attention, as, you know, Leo naturally wants to do so. And all of us do like being the center of attention at some point or another. So asking ourselves, how much do we really need, is what we are going to be reflecting on and setting new intentions around during the Venus star point. What does authenticity mean to us? What makes us feel playful? As I already covered just now, or just earlier, what makes us feel playful, and just realizing what it is we need to do to feel that sense of play, to own that inner child. It might not be necessarily doing inner child healing, just what makes you feel lighthearted and fun. During the Venus star point, we may feel it's easier to access that inner child within, to be playful, and we should own this. Also, we may feel more connected to our authenticity today, resetting intentions on what authenticity means to us. So this is, again, a very beneficial transit, time to set new intentions, time to enjoy this love for life that we're feeling. So in conclusion, what to expect on August 13th. You should expect to be opening up to a greater sense of love, clarity around issues that have come up since July 22nd. Again, that's when Venus went retrograde. So you can have some clarity around issues, seeing the beauty around you. Your authenticity will be reignited, feeling maybe even more authentic than before, and also deep healing in love. If you feel like it's been hard for you to embrace a lighthearted attitude or really feel like you are in love in your love life, this is what you're going to be realizing and what you're going to be feeling energies around this during the Venus star point. The question is, though, while Venus is the planet of love, it also is the planet of just general beauty, wealth, and worth. And so that shows that it's not going to necessarily affect all of our love lives. While it could, it's not necessarily going to do so. This is a planet, not a house. And if you do not understand the difference between those two, book a reading with me where I'll break down the difference. Video coming soon as well. So where is this going to affect you the most? Venus star point will affect you differently based off of your zodiac. So if you are, for example, an Aries sun, this happens in your 5th house, which is about romance and love. So based on your sun sign, I believe at least, your sun sign, you can also look at your moon and rising, but because this is a longer term transit, I would look at your sun sign first. You can also look at your rising as well for more tailored interpretation, because looking at your sun and your rising and your moon will give you the full picture of exactly in detail how this is going to affect you. So the Venus star point on August 13th. This is reawakening love with what, based off of your zodiac sign. If you are a Aries sun, moon, or rising, the Venus star point is a moment for you in clarity in your love life. You have double Leo energy going here in a way. And so you're going to be, recently you've been reflecting on your love life and what makes you feel playful and authentic. And during the Venus star point, you can have some realizations around how you want to move forward in your love life, what makes you feel playful, and also your creative pursuits. The 5th house is not just the house of romance, it's the house of play and creativity. So you may be initiating something new with your creative pursuits during this time. your creativity could be benefited as well. So creatively expressing yourself and being authentic in those is important for you. If you are, let's see, which way should we go? If you are a Taurus, sun, moon, or rising, this is going to be happening in your 4th house of home, roots, and family. I think I said that right. Yes, I'm doing this right. Still, sometimes doing this mentally is taxing, so bear with me, guys. If you are a Taurus, sun, moon, or rising, this is changing how authentically and boldly you show up in your family life. You've been experiencing conflict to some degree in your family since July 22nd, roughly, and now you can see your family with more appreciation, more love, and also showing up with them more authentically. If you are a Gemini, sun, moon, or rising, this is happening in your house of everyday communication and places. You might change or realize how you want to express yourself better in your day-to-day life, and you can use your words more eloquently during this time to say things with more love and appreciation and inspiring other people. Again, this is not a time to be overly bold, but also embracing your authentic self in your communication. There might be someone in your immediate environment or a sibling who needs to hear what you have to say. So be open to communication and have an open heart. If you are a Cancer, sun, moon, or rising, this is affecting your 2nd house of wealth and finances. Also, though, your self-worth. So you may have felt that your sense of self-worth has taken a blow since July 22nd, and now's the time for you to really realize how much you are worth. You may feel that you love yourself more during this time and embrace that. That is a good thing. Along with that, showing up as your authentic self with courage today, and for the few days before and after this event of the Venus star point, you could be rewarded financially for doing so. So own your worth, own yourself. If you are a Leo, sun, moon, or rising, you are the star of the show for this transit. So today let's back up a little for you. Since July 22nd, you have felt that you've been having maybe a bit of an identity crisis. You feel like you've had to be tamed in some way or another, especially as it's become Leo season. You may have felt that people are not as welcoming of your energies as they normally are each year. So during the Venus star point, you may feel like you can finally take center stage a little, but in a way or in an aura of more authenticity and softness than you expect to. So allow yourself to soften into your sense of self, relax into it, and enjoy the energy present. If you are a Virgo, sun, moon, or rising, you have probably had some brain fog, or you've been having to deal with some mental battles since Venus has gone retrograde in Leo on July 22nd. And now you can have a better relationship with yourself during this time. Again, Venus is retrograde and it's in your 12th house. So you may feel extra called to spend time in solitude today, and just own that. Just accept it. After all, this Venus star point in Leo is all about owning our authenticity, guys. So really, for the Virgo, sun, moons, and risings out there, this is especially about you owning your authentic self for yourself. Whereas some people who are more about the exterior world based on their houses that it's happening in, like Aries or maybe Gemini, this is more about just you. You don't need to show it off to everyone. This is a time for you just to really own yourself and put yourself in your own spotlight. Also putting your wounds in your own spotlight. If you are a Libra, sun, moon, or rising, this happens in your 11th house of visions and community. So since Venus has gone retrograde, you've been reflecting on who you want to be in your community. And it's naturally easy for you, probably as a Libra, to put everyone else first. But now's the time for you to really just appreciate your community for who they are and allow yourself to be authentic and, in some ways, take up more space in your community. You might also realize that you have big visions and big dreams that require you to be more courageous, authentic, loving, and expressive. And now's the time for you to set new intentions around what you dream of being. What gives you a sense of meaning and purpose? You're going to feel more connected to this today. You're going to feel a sense of meaning and purpose. And you might find that meaning with a dream, or you might find it with your community. Either way, you're embracing a sense of purpose that is coming from somewhere. And it's best for you to just own your authentic self and allow yourself to take up a little space. If you are a Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising, this happens in your 10th house of career, reputation, and profession. Let's move this. I don't know if my little block here shows up on the screen. I just use Zoom. I don't understand it very well. Just like astrology in many ways. Just kidding. I understand this very well. But we're moving this block out of the way anyway, just to make sure you guys can see fully. If you are a Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising, this happens in your career, and you might realize that career has been troubling for you recently, and now is the time for you to move forward in that. You might finally have some clarity around how you want to show up in your career, how much you need to be in the spotlight, and how you can be more authentic and loving in your career. You might realize you want to change career paths to be in a profession that allows you to be more expressive and bold, or you might realize that you don't have to be as expressive and bold as you expected yourself needing to be. If you are a Sagittarius, sun, moon, or rising, this happens in your 9th house of philosophy and travel. Your favorite house, because after all, the 9th house is associated with Sagittarius. So basically, people get often confused about the 9th house energies, and they don't really know exactly what it means, especially when the words philosophy and travel come together. To simply put it, the 9th house represents a exploration, both physical and mental. And so for Sagittarius, during Venus retrograde, this Venus star point, and with Venus retrograde recently, you've been reflecting on, do I want to travel more? There's something that feels lacking for you in your sense of purpose and from the sense of novelty. You may feel that you've been living on repeat too much, and now you're pondering whether you need a greater sense of meaning in your life, to recultivate your sense of identity and who you are, to find a better sense of purpose, to maybe even experience more unknowns and get far away from where you're used to being in order to find that. Today, as Venus has its star point, and the same as being Venus and the Sun conjunction, you are awakening a sense of purpose and understanding today. You may finally culminate or have a conclusion in what gives you a sense of meaning and purpose. You may feel like you are getting to experience life to the fullest, and this can help you have a better sense of identity and understand what your point is of being here on Earth. Big lessons for Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. If you are a Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising, this affects your 8th house of shadows, intimacy, and deep desires. During this time, and since Venus has gone retrograde in the sign of Leo, you have felt called to think about your relationship with your sexuality and also your relationship with your shadow self. What is it you really want, and what are the roots behind that? You've had some hard times discovering what it is you really need in your sexual experience in order to feel like you're having fun and enjoying it to the fullest. And as Venus has this star point, you may have some clarity around what truly you enjoy in intimacy, but also you might also just heal your inner child. This is about sexuality and intimacy, but it's also about intimacy with ourselves and our deep desires. And Leo is about the inner child. So for Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising, you may today be more connected with your inner child and do deep inner healing work with the child within you. If you are an Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising, this happens in your opposite house of, or your opposite sign, which means your 7th house of one-on-one relationships and partnerships. You've been thinking about how you want to show up in your relationships recently, and with the Venus star point, you can have a better sense of clarity and enjoyment in your romantic relationships, specifically your committed ones. So if you've been dating someone for a while and you've recently felt that the passion has been stagnant, you can feel that is reawakened today, and you can feel a greater sense of love between you and your partner. If you are single and looking to mingle, you may realize what it is you're looking for in a partner during this time, and this can feel incredible. And finally, If you are a Pisces, sun, moon, or rising, this happens in your 6th house of routines, stability, and wellness. The Venus star point for you means that you are realizing what brings you a sense of enjoyment in your day-to-day life, what you need to be healthy, and how living a life of courage and playfulness is necessary for your sense of health. Overall, all of us are experiencing benefit and setting new intentions and just seeing life more beautifully today as the Venus and Sun form the Venus star point on August 13th. This is a good energy for us, a time where we can realize what direction we want to go and start moving forward. Depending on our horoscope and depending on the sign we are, that's where it will show up for you. So if you just remember looking at your sun, moon, and rising, Aries 5th, Taurus 4th, etc., Gemini 3rd, Virgo being 12th, and then counting down, that will show you where you're going to be feeling this the most and where you'll be feeling the love for life most. Also, one note too, if you are looking to find a romantic partner during this time, Venus star point does benefit that. It can bring a romantic opportunity, and you should look for it in the house that it's happening in. So for example, maybe as an Aries sun, if I was looking for a relationship or looking for a romantic opportunity, I would go do something on the day of the Venus star point that makes me feel playful and creative. For me, that could be go speaking poetry or going to music, etc. It's a little harder to interpret for some houses than others. So if you were a Leo, sun, moon, or rising, do something about your appearance, do something for yourself, focus on yourself today. And the more you focus on yourself, not today, on the day of the Venus star point, focus on yourself and you may find romantic opportunities. If it's in your 2nd house, focus on doing something for your money that day. Focus on whatever house it's happening in, even if you're looking for romantic opportunities, and then you'll be putting yourself in energetic alignment for the universe to grant you with a romantic opportunity if that's what you're looking for. If, of course, the time is right. There we go. Reminder during this transit. Love is not something you give and get. It is simply who you are. And I think that's a very important reminder, especially for what I just mentioned about manifesting love, is that oftentimes we can think we're waiting for something to show up or the perfect transit to be happening to bring us love into our lives. And this Venus star point happening in retrograde Leo is a reminder to us that love is not something transactional. It is something we are. It is the core of our being. And the more we embrace it, the more we embrace what we truly are, the more we feel the energies of love, and the more we can attract love. So for everyone today, or during the Venus star point on August 13th, own your sense of love. Own the fact that you are love, and no one can take that from you. And the best way for you to own love is to be authentic in that. And don't worry too much about the identity or the persona of it or how you appear. Just be you, be love. If you have any more questions about this transit, including more questions on exactly understanding the transit itself, or if you want to learn how it's going to affect you in detail and get a detailed horoscope, then book a reading with me at makingmindfulnessfun.com/product/coaching-Isabelle. The link will be in the description below on this YouTube video, so you can book either a half-hour reading where you get to simply ask away and get your questions answered in minimum amounts of time, or if you want deeper understanding of yourself or your purpose or this transit, book a 1-hour self-revolution reading with me, same link. Either way, you can check them out and learn more detail about each of these readings in the link in the description below. The 30-minute readings are great for those who just want to get their simple questions answered and can interpret on their own or are just newbies. And the 1-hour reading is great for those who really want to dive deep and feel a sense of understanding and own this transit to the best possibility they can. So hit that link in the description below or go to the link that I've put here to book your reading now and get your questions answered. Thank you guys so much for watching this whole video. If you are at this point in the video, I applaud you and I thank you guys specifically so much, because the people who watch through to the end of these videos are the reason this channel can keep running. So thank you, subscribers and newcomers, so much. And I hope if you're a newcomer, you subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars. This was for the transit that is happening on August 13th, the Venus star point. And if you have any more questions, or if by chance that I interpreted something wrong or have misinformation, let me know in the comments below and I will add it to the description and make more videos to clarify those things. There are more transits coming up for August, and August is going to be a huge month for us all, not just those who have Leo energy. So stay tuned on the YouTube channel, on this channel, for more updates on what is happening in the stars, because not only do we have this happening, but there's a lot more to come and a lot more good that can be embraced and a lot more challenges that you'll want to be informed on. So subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, I bow to you. Namaste. Bye.